Hello everyone, this is Talk on 3D, and this is a quick tutorial on how to uh, take motions that you use with physics and then edit them inside the Curve Editor, which was one of the questions I was asked at the webinar we recently had. So at the time I didn't have an answer, so on the first webinar I wasn't sure, but I figured out by before the second one, so now I'm ready to show you guys how to do this. It's actually quite simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and press the W key for move and Control Q to switch gizmos between the regular gizmo and the old gizmo. And we're going to move our cube here a little bit in up like so. And let's go ahead and we're going to give some physics properties to our two simple shapes here. So for the ground, we are going to use the Shadowcaster plane, which is basically invisible, but it's still there. So let's go ahead and add physics to that. And I'm going to activate this, and we're going to make this static. And then for the cube, we're going to add physics to that, and we're going to leave it dynamic. So basically, we are just going to press spacebar here and let the physics do its thing, right? So now we didn't control the mass of the cube or any other of the parameters. We just left it as default. So what if we want this to happen a little bit faster, okay? So this is where we can actually use the curve editor to help us with that. So I'm going to go ahead and disable both physics for the cloth and the actual physics tab here, because the motion is already there. It's baked right now. So now if we play, boom, the motion is already in the cube. So I'm going to go ahead and disable physics for this prop here, because we don't need that anymore. So because the motion is already there. And I'm going to press Control 3, so we have our animation workspace here. So, and again, what I usually like to do is make sure that my in and out markers are set to a smaller range, since we don't need to loop this any further. Okay, so, and to zoom in and out the timeline, I'm pressing the Alt and mouse wheel here, just in case you didn't know. And you guys missed, anyone that may have missed the webinar. So those are some cool tips right there. And so again, we have the motion there, but notice that it's not in the transforms, the motion. The motion is actually in the animation track. This is where the things get baked. So what we're going to do here is open up that track, and I'm going to select that clip right there with all the physics motion in them, and I'm going to right click on it and go sample clip. This will create keyframes for the animation for you. It will show them to you, and then what we can do now is I can right click on the clip and I go to Curve Editor. And you will see here, if I do an out of it, that we have indeed have baked the motion, and we actually can see the keys for that inside the curve editor. So these are the physics right there. And because there was only animation happening on the Z value, because there was no wind pushing the box or any other physics involved, it was just gravity pulling it down. It was just in Y. So it actually created keyframes just for the axis that was animated, which is great. So you save a lot of keys. Otherwise, we have a ton of keys here that are unnecessary. So one thing that you can control here, for example, is the bounds of this. So for example, I can go ahead and select these keys over here and tell them, okay, so what I want to happen here, and let's go ahead and do and frame that. And I'm going to frame that, and I'm going to select the scale. So anything that's selected will be scale. And this is a function that you can do it on an entire curve or just a group of curves, a group of keyframes. And now let's say that we want to exaggerate the bounce, right? So let's go ahead and scale this. And notice that if we grab this handle, the bottom handle does not get touched. So by me doing this, in essence, we just exaggerated that physics motion that was there. See, now it drops a lot heavier. Boom. And it does a bigger bounce upwards. So if we want this to happen even faster, for example, let's go ahead and do a frame here. And actually, let's frame the whole curve. So I'm going to deselect everything that we have here and do a fit. And if we want that fall to happen faster, we can actually select these keyframes here. Let's make sure that we can grab all of them. And let's just select the Z position, actually. That will give us, so that way we don't grab the other axes as well. And let's go ahead and do a mouse drag from here to here and use the scale. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it in time this way, like so. So this will make the drop happen faster. So now if we go ahead and play this, boom. See, it happened much faster right there. So can you control physics after you bake them? Absolutely. You can use the curve editor to do this, or you can use the timeline editor. However, the curve editor will give you a lot more freedom, and it will allow you to do things that actually you wouldn't be able to visualize what the motion was like. And at the same time, you actually be if you're using just a timeline, basically you're dealing with all the X, Y, Z coordinate axes at the same time. Where here in the curve editor, you can just modify just one particular axis, which gives you a great amount of freedom and accuracy. So that's it. That's how you do it. So if you can run now, you can run a physics simulation, bake it, and then you can tweak it up afterwards, so that if it doesn't do something you want, you can add it afterwards with the curve editor. So just wanted to show you that, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next tutorial. Take care.